We had something important.
Okay. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now this, I hear this every morning at school. Every morning I get to listen to this, right?
Used to, do they still?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Do they?
They got on the public address system, that's why I said I could hear it.
That's
Well,
good.
All right,
Oh, good.
okay. Let me get started. McGee here. Okay. Roll call quick.
Rob?
Yes.
Bill?
Yeah.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Linda? Yep. Gilbert? Chuck?
Yes.
Okay. Approval of video and written minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second?
I'll second it.
Rob?
Yep.
Bill?
Yeah.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Linda?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
And we won't have any,
We just need a motion to approve the financial
Yeah,
information
for right
that they
now.
signed, not the bank rec, because it's
Okay.
the first of the month.
okay. So I need a motion to,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Linda?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
I guess we have our favorite insurance agents.
Yes,
Yes.
And he's got his Kevlar suit on, just in case.
I
we
think
shoot
it,
him.
I told
Joe,
it to be, yeah.
Real quick, so I gotta get you a well pump cost,
Yep.
the variable speed drive cost.
Yep. Generator problem.
Try and get an idea of what we
Yeah.
pay for the generator. And then the meter reading equipment is.
That's the other one.
cost is gonna be on that,
Okay,
so.
cool.
Well,
You don't need to talk
Let's have
very
some
long,
fun.
just the bottom line, please.
Bottom line,
We don't even know yet.
You cold.
it went up, a lot of money.
$7,200 more than last year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
We're all gonna have to get a job.
Joyce said she wanted to hit the, get right to the bottom line, huh?
Actually, it was 79.
Was it 79? My
Yeah.
bad.
I think it's over 40,000 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over
yeah.
42,000.
We're not even done with that yet.
Yeah,
So,
he's gotta add more.
We'll just go look and see if he has any new furniture or a new car or anything like that.
So really, the liability limits have not changed. The $5 million liability still the village has. Public entity pool, where we have you guys insured, they did take a 20% rate increase on property and on automobile. So, which is, I'm not saying the standard, but I hope it stops,
It's
because
not
the
going
last
to.
3 years has just been.
That's crazy.
It is, so. Couple changes, John, we went over, on page 2 of 8. There's a little storage building out there, John has no idea what it is, 2-5 for $29,428.
Okay.
We're gonna remove that, I have no idea, he can't remember what that one was. All the other buildings are good, the only, page 7 of 8, 9-1, out on County Road 2, they used to have a metal enclosure over the screenings, John?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's all enclosed now, so 64, or 6744 is coming off that. And then going through it, the 2 pump houses down here with the pumps in there were never,
The well houses.
the well
were never
house
on
was
there.
never on there.
No, they need to be on there, that's for sure.
Yeah. So he's gonna get me the price of the 2 deep wells, 10-inch deep wells, the generator, the Kohler generator, and then he was saying something about you guys are doing
The
the,
variable speed drives and then our meter reading equipment.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that was all stuff we upgraded, and we probably never got it.
Right.
Yeah.
I probably had $1.
I can't believe the buildings aren't even on there.
Right,
There's a
and
few zeros behind
That's,
it.
they've been running them since 80.
Yeah.
so, and then, how's the complex coming?
Well, we're actually getting a good start on it now. We got the EMS station done now.
Okay,
So we're waiting on Florida Pharmacy and Medicaid to sign off. And then the ambulance is gonna move out there. So I expect probably within the next 3-4 weeks.
really?
That should be, I mean,
Okay.
the building's been done for a month, but.
Okay.
But we've been waiting on all this other trivial stuff from the state.
Okay. So, all the other cleanup is,
Yeah, well, the brownfield stuff, the grant's been approved. So the engineering, they've come out and did the engineering and the survey for the drains and all that stuff, and putting their plan together. They're
Okay.
submitting it to Renee Smith of
Okay.
the county, that she's managing the whole brownfield project. And that's due to start, I think they told me they thought end of June, 1st of July, as soon as it dries out, they want to do the cleanup
Okay,
and have everything done. So the goal is to have this stuff done, I think, by the end of October. Have everything cleaned up and done and everything.
the environmental side,
Environmental stuff.
okay.
And all that stuff, and that's, so we got a grant for that, was it?
Yeah.
$600,000 over it was, so
Okay.
it's all been through the EPA and all that stuff, so we got everything.
In the main building,
Main building.
down the
was-
road?
The main building, we're starting probably this week. So I got a contract tonight, we'll talk to town, so I got everything figured out how we're gonna do it, and
Cool.
we got money appropriated for it, so we're ready to do that. So
Awesome.
we've just been focused on this EMS thing, trying to get this thing done,
Right,
you know, so.
awesome,
So
awesome.
right with that. We got John moved in his building out there now, and he's all happy now. Pretty much.
Yeah,
Happy as
most
happy
of the
can
time.
be.
Happy as he can be, right?
Vehicle wise, you know, we had one change, the impact, the enclosed trailer needs to come off, but
Yeah.
other than that, I'm here for questions if you guys have any questions, so.
The bottom line was 41,000.
42
something.
8:45.
42,845.
Okay, so we just need a motion to approve that probably, so you make a check out for that.
Yep.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Linda,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Bill,
Yes.
Rob.
Can we do maybe payments?
Yeah, one big one.
Just one payment.
Right here.
So, I will get those changes made and get it back, and then
Okay.
just keep me abreast on down there.
Yeah,
So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
other
You
than
could
that,
be surprised, it's really gonna be nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's been, what, 2 years, Scott, since we've been through there?
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's been a lot of, been taking a while, you know.
Yeah. So,
Well, it's, the state run me around for almost 6 months.
Well, the state does
Just
that
trying to get it signed
everybody.
off, you know, the building and getting our blessing with everything and all the stuff.
Once it's done, we're christening it with champagne and
Yeah,
We'll fall over.
yeah.
so, any other questions?
No, no, we're happy.
Perfect, appreciate it.
See, I've been told I can't get on yet today. Okay.
And you're listening?
But this way, I'm coming to your office because I'm sure my car stuff is due.
When's that gonna be?
Yeah, it's gonna
So
be
he knows.
surprising.
So I know not to be there, huh? All right,
Okay, thanks a lot, Joe.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.
I'll
thanks,
see if I
Joe.
can't get that.
Have a good
Thank
night.
y'all.
thanks.
Tomorrow I'll get it.
Just call me. Awesome, thanks.
All right.
All right, see you.
So I don't have any police reports. I did, you know, I talked to all the deputies and they've been doing a good job. They're pretty active. I mean, they've been out there and watching school and all this other stuff. So everything's been going pretty good there, no major issues. I just haven't got the report because she didn't send me the reports yet for the month, but we'll probably get them this week yet. So other than that, I think it's been working pretty good. Yeah, when I get it, I'll get everything sent to you, when Casey sends it to me. I'll get everything sent to you, so. Yeah, Mike, you know, come up and tell us how things are going.
Well, Chief's couldn't make it tonight because I guess his boss passed away, so he's going to funeral for that.
Oh, my.
Who passed away?
Mike's boss at,
Oh, really?
at work,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
He did not get his report done,
Yeah.
so I think we had around like 16 runs this last month. He said we'll get the report typed up and that, give it to you later on this week. Yesterday, we took the tanker down to Elliot's, they got it. I got an email today to make a couple little changes and that, help with the Pearl Pond tank, they'll stick out so far, they'll move it in, and length from the truck, it's like a 6 inches longer, the tank. So, sound like they got everything going and getting ready.
Okay, good.
So, expect, end of June to get it back. That's
Okay.
what they're forecasting,
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, that's not too bad, I guess.
yeah.
I was hoping to be a little quicker than that, but I guess
Yeah.
what it is, but
They wait till they got the truck and
Yeah.
do a lot of re-engineering. They got down there, they was kinda surprised how that tank was put on.
well,
So they had to make a couple, some changes in that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. So, right now, we're kinda static quo in that, reverse raffle went good.
Yeah.
Oh, did it? How
Yeah.
much did they make, do you know?
I really don't know exactly, we probably have our meeting,
Did
next
anybody
Sunday.
local win anything?
I'm not sure, I'm not sure,
No.
I wasn't sure who won, because I went home a little bit earlier, but Anyways, I know it was pretty good, they had a pretty good
Yeah.
turnout there and everything, it
Yeah.
was pretty good there.
They said that went pretty good.
Yep, it did.
I stayed back here in case
Yeah.
we got
Right,
called
that's
back
what you said you
here.
were gonna do.
Yeah,
So just, I did have a meeting with Mike, I think, last month, or last week, we sat down and just kind of talk about finances and all that stuff. So I just wanna make sure that you understand also that, you talk to Mike, that if there's things we have to do to keep things certified or whatever, we make sure we spend the money and do those things, and if we have to use general fund to resolve those issues, we will, but the point is, I know we're short of money from where we were at a year ago.
yeah.
The bottom line is, we still have to maintain all the ladders and all those things, and I told Mike,
We're trying to get, some of that stuff we don't have to do every year, but we're trying to get where they all don't come on the same year. Now, we're
Right.
trying to,
yeah.
we could do every other year between the stuff.
But I mean, the thing, like I'm saying, if it's something it's supposed to be done by
It needs to get
by
done.
law
Yeah.
or whatever, make sure that it gets done.
Yep,
Yeah,
Because we don't put ourselves at risk, because we don't have the stuff set up,
yeah,
Okay, so I kinda walked over the thing with Mike, I mean, and we just need to try to engage the public as much as possible and try to get volunteers, whatever we can do, just, I know it's not,
Yeah.
it's easier said than done, but we gotta
Did you get one of these?
promote the fire department best we can, so we can try to,
all the volunteer fire department hurt. Matter of fact, even
Yeah.
the
I know, it's not.
City of Falls Story's really hurting even
Yeah.
bad now.
Yeah.
They're even talking, maybe work down to volunteer.
And just so everybody knows too, I've talked with some of the township trustees about creating a district.
Yeah.
So we're just in the process of talking now, there's nothing,
Yeah.
there's no direction or anything, because you have to get all the parties to kind of agree
Well-
and all that stuff, so.
We're still waiting to see how that's gonna work out in Sandusky County. Because they gotta go through some levies to get what they want done. If it fails, then they probably gonna revert back where we were.
Yeah, we'll put it back on there, but it costs money to get stuff on, so you can get an election, go through election, you gotta,
Yeah.
and then you gotta buy the signs and all that stuff, and you gotta promote it, and there's a cost there. So I
Yeah.
think it cost us close to $60,000 just for the EMS,
Oh, yeah.
get on the ballot,
Yeah.
ballot.
We've been having like up to 3, sometimes 4 calls a day. The ambulance is just on the move
Oh, yeah.
constant, yeah.
it's-
Oh, yeah.
It's the second busiest one in the county right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we've been averaging between 42 to 56 runs a month now out of Bettsville.
Yeah,
So, and then the other thing's going on right now, Bascom's basically out of service a lot more, so now we're
Yeah, they're
Going that
having
way.
problems over there.
We're having problems with Bascom, so we're going over that way too now, so we're picking up those ones now.
okay.
So there's a lot of dynamics going on in the EMS right now. I mean, just
Yeah,
do that,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so,
Stuff's changed daily.
yeah, so.
So,
So I think that's where, thanks Mike, that's kind of where we're at, I just wanna give everybody a view, we're moving forward, we're trying to get things done, but, this,
mhm.
it's not an easy thing.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
appreciate everything. So we're moving on to cleanup, and so I asked John to go around and take a survey of what the issues were in the village. So there's 24 properties that need to be, there's issues that need to be resolved. So I'll get this to the deputy and let them do their thing like we did in the past, let them fall through and that's what we're paying them for.
I thought that worked really well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the best way, they'll go out and talk to them, give them a amount of time to get things resolved. If they don't, then it goes to the next level, so.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, John and I was out there, and he's already got several calls, people whining already, so.
Oh, really?
So they're aware of some of this stuff already, so, it is what it is, I mean, so. That's kind of the cleanups thing. And I just wanna make sure that everybody understands we're trying to do there's a procedure we gotta go through, and let the system work the way it's supposed to, and we'll go from there.
Who's all in there?
I mean, there's all the different
In
properties.
case I get a phone call.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't, because it's gonna be turned over to the sheriff's office and you're not involved in
Yeah,
it.
that's
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good.
the point being is, that's why we got it
We're
this
not
way.
gonna be involved in it.
Right,
That we're
okay.
paying for that service, that's the whole idea, is that, let them manage that stuff.
Mhm.
And it's not a council problem, we have the ordinance, and,
Right,
and that's what it's for,
okay.
okay? Okay, water, sewer, street, John.
Okay. Every 3 years, we get a survey for water and a survey for sewer from our illustrious Environmental Protection Agency. So we had our survey last week for water. We did have 2 violations, which is, they gotta find something.
Oh, yeah.
They're like an auditor. The first violation is I wasn't working enough valves. I was working 10 to 15% of them instead of 20% of them. So I gotta work a couple more valves in town. And then the other thing is the way we transfer chlorine into the system. They don't like the way we're doing it now, even though it's been this way for, Dave and I changed it like 10 or so years ago. We've been through like 4 surveys and now all of a sudden it's a problem. So we'll have to spend some money and get that squared away. Outside of that, that's the only 2 problems they found. 3 years ago, it was paperwork. This time, they wanna complain about a couple things that have been that way forever, so, whatever.
While we're on that subject, I think let's, there's another thing that EPA, they had a
We're
concern.
about, we're about there.
Oh, okay, I'll let you do it then.
Give me a minute. Along with the surveys, they always have recommendations,
Of course.
of course. And, couple of the recommendations are, you know, they're just, rule recommendations, but, the big one, it has to do with the quarry over here. And Scott actually probably knows more about what's going on over there than Dave and I do, but that's gonna end up costing us some money, so.
So what I'm doing, so what amounts to is that we need to have a second source of water in case when they blow the pit open and all of a sudden the water goes all in the pit and then we don't have any water. So we have to figure out what our first action is gonna be and what our long-term action is gonna be if we lose the water field, or
Our well field.
well field.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, I had already talked to Kevin a little bit about it when they had the thing out to the front 9. And we discussed about the issues out there with water and all that stuff like that, so they've already did the engineering and stuff, and I already talked to county commissioners like that, so all we gotta do is, I called Kevin today, but I didn't return the call yet, so I'll have a meeting with Dave, John, myself, and we're gonna look at, and Kevin will, we'll ask the questions that we need to ask, and then we'll figure out what they've done, because I don't wanna impact the community with a lot of money, right? Because
Right.
I can tell you right now, John said, well, what's our, if we have to get water from like Fremont, I mean, that's probably what, 13, 14 miles away, right, roughly? So I can tell you right now, when Fostory did the water loop around on Jones Road there, when I talked to the mayor there, it was roughly $1 million a mile
Oh, my word.
for pipe, the labor, pipe and all that stuff, they gotta run and all that stuff. So,
The big problem with tying in, and the EPA doesn't care about this, but the big thing about tying into another system is, all fine and dandy, they have to provide you the water, but you still don't change your operation here. You still have to have operators, because you still have your tower, you still have all the expense, you just don't have a water plant expense anymore.
Right.
Nevada just went through this. They tied into Bucyrus a couple years ago. They still have to have operators. They still have their storage tanks. They still have their infrastructure in the ground. The Bucyrus provides them with water. That is absolutely it. So
Isn't
basically, there's a good chance that they could create a huge problem for us, and it's up to us to figure it out instead of them.
Isn't that what I've always been worried about, is if they was tap into our water supply that takes care of hundreds of people?
well, if you look at the curse map, because I've been looking at the hydronics flow map,
Yeah.
and basically we're on the edge of the big curse, like Woodville and all that stuff's into that water storage area, basically, aquifer. And so, it's vulnerable in a lot of different places. And it's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
it's not just, you're not just vulnerable for losing water, but you're also vulnerable because it's only 15 to 30 feet below ground
Right.
level that you can get contamination from, say somebody
Yeah.
semi-truck dumps
Well,
water on the
yeah.
ground and it gets in there or whatever, and then you got contamination, all that stuff. So there's all kinds of dynamics going on there.
There's all sorts of potentials,
Yeah,
but
but shouldn't they
when
be
they're
made
blowing
responsible?
holes in the ground, that's a big one.
Yeah,
Yes.
So
yeah, well, they're supposed to be responsible, but the point is when they're saying they're responsible versus reality when it comes
Right.
down to it, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I'm getting the county commissioners involved in all this,
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
it's a dynamic thing that is beyond what the village can handle by itself. And like John said, and it's true, it's the financial risk to the village, it's the bigger concern,
Well, yeah,
right? Not only why you're running out of water is a big deal, but then
yeah.
what's the solution to fix it, and how much it's gonna cost, right?
Well, so they want all of this in our contingency plans, they want all of this. The violations are really no big deal that we got those 2 violations. I just go out and spin a wrench for an afternoon and that one's taken care of, and then a few $100 and we'll have it fixed back at the well house for the other one.
Cool.
That's no big deal. What their recommendations are, and they want to see a response to those recommendations. So
Exactly.
we've got to sit down and at least get something kind of figured out with it. That's the big one.
And the way I'm gonna approach this is, I mean, if they've already did the engineering, I want them to help us put the plan together, so we don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money
Right.
Well, yeah,
putting this plan together, because, I mean, I read this for like 40 pages. I mean, you got, all the different things that can happen, scenarios and all the different things that's in your community, like, funeral homes, all that stuff that comes under
Right.
that. What's your response to how you handle all that stuff, the stuff getting into your system and how do you handle it? It's pretty involved.
Yes.
It's not a 15-minute project, you know what I'm saying?
if they plan on going like 200 feet down like they did in the other hole,
I don't think they're 200 foot down.
It's 230 feet in the center.
yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know I don't know where the bulb's at,
Yeah, I've
so-
always been worried about the water system,
Well, but the point is, what I'm saying to you right now, they're along, way below what the
Well,
aquifer is
yeah.
right now, because we're only talking, 15 to 30 feet is what they're saying, when you look at the
Yeah.
hydrostatic map, where the water's at, so I'm just saying, it could be good that way now, but they hit a vein, like a mini river, it can drain it pretty fast.
Yes.
So then what do we do for
Yeah.
water storage and all those things, and how do we handle that?
So, yeah, there's a lot, it's gonna be pretty involved, and of course, this stuff is available, if you guys wanna read all that stuff, you're more than welcome to. I'd like it if you did. So everyone sees what's going on, but, there's gonna be a lot more testing, a lot more stuff that we gotta do to, there's gonna be a lot, I shouldn't say testing, there's gonna be a lot more monitoring. They want us to monitor the static levels in the wells, drawdown levels, there's a lot of, and they want it done like monthly.
Yeah.
So, there's gonna be a lot of work involved with us.
So you got a primary and a secondary boundary that's on the map or whatever, so basically our primary almost goes to the quarry right now, over the edge of the quarry
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah,
And
okay.
the secondary is the quarry and goes all the way up around, all the Tiffin and all that stuff, so
Oh, yeah,
part of that whole
yeah.
thing, it's crazy when you look at it, the boundaries,
Yeah,
the water boundaries and all that stuff, so.
Our wells are drilled 218 feet deep, and the pumps are set right about 180, 185. So,
I'll tell you what surprised me too was the number of gas wells in the village of Bettsville.
I got one on my
When you look at that
property.
stuff, I didn't realize that when you look at the map and you see where, it's like, shit, I didn't even know these wells were here.
Yeah.
But they're there,
Yeah,
So, yes, it's quite involved. So I'm just getting started in this whole thing, but we gotta have a primary answer within 30 days for the
Yeah.
part of it. and then
the
rest of it-
violations I gotta get resolved here within the next 30 days, but which is a matter of making a phone call and getting some stuff ordered. That's not that big of a deal. The stuff at the quarry, that's, the recommendations are a big deal. They want, another recommendation is they want the tower fenced in, and, yeah, that'll be a big issue, cause we'll have to shut the alley down to do that. So, that's a whole nother disaster.
it is there. So, now let's talk about water meters then.
That's next on my list.
Okay. I'm trying to get in the game.
All right, so water meters, we had a pre-construction meeting. It sounds like I got them all the information that they needed. PO box wise and resident wise, all that, they've got all that information. They will send out letters, and you'll be able to call them back to set up an appointment to get your meter changed, or you can get right online and set up an appointment online to get them changed. They estimate it'll take a couple months to get everybody done in town, but just because of randomness of setting up appointments, but they're gonna be here, I think they said from 7 to 6, 4 days a week. They work 4 10s, so it'll be Monday through Thursday.
When are they coming in?
It was supposed to be like the 14th of April, but they haven't got back with me, so I think that's gonna be pushed back a little bit.
I think it's gonna be May before it actually gets started realistically,
Yeah.
right around
Okay.
there.
So I did put a little thing on Facebook about it the other day, and it's had real good responses. I mean, nobody's complaining about anything, so.
Surprise.
But
I did put on there that the meters were gonna be installed at no cost to the
Yeah.
residents, so
Yeah.
of course that'll,
that's always better.
yeah, so.
So
Well,
way
like
we,
this-
way we set this, the funding and stuff up like that, we get it that way so that
Yeah.
the, you know, village wouldn't incur any more cost. I mean, there's still a cost because we're paying interest and because of
Yeah,
loan and all that
Right.
stuff. But, you know, by doing what we did, it's not really financially impacting on
Yeah.
the village very bad. I mean, there's gonna be some cost overall.
We put the 100,000 down, we're financing 80,000, which I don't think we're gonna end up using all that either. It's there, but, the estimate ended up coming down a little bit because I had a couple extra meters in there that we're not gonna need after we went to the school and a couple other places and looked things over. We're gonna be able to change stuff a little bit. So it come down a couple $1,000s. So the final estimate would have been like 176, right around in there, so.
Give his own dose.
We may incur a little bit of cost, if someone's valve doesn't work properly to shut the line off coming in, so they can change the meter. If we can get that shut off outside and they can get that swapped out. That's up to you guys if you want to charge the homeowner at that point for the valve. I mean, I guess we cross that bridge when we get to it.
Because we don't know what kind of impact we're gonna have realistically.
Right,
We're
right.
guessing right now. But we did have a discussion that there's, you know, there's always gonna be a few people that's gonna fight the system, right?
Yep.
And what happens is, either they won't give us access to the house or whatever, and it comes down to that if we try everything, we send the letters and they don't communicate, then our option is to put one out in the pit, and they're gonna have to incur the whole cost of it if we gotta put a meter in the
A
pit
meter pit out front.
out front. So
But-
I think it's important that the people understand
Yeah.
they gotta work with us, because the other issue we got, and John can confirm this, nobody knows where the hell all these meters are at, because people build over top them or whatever over the years, and you don't know what you're gonna get into until you get into it, right?
Right.
Right. I mean, we'll obviously, I don't wanna say the word threaten, but we'll let them know that we most certainly will disconnect the service if they're denying us access. They have to provide us access to the meter by law. So, yeah, one way or another, we'll be able to get
Well,
to it.
they should understand how much it would cost them personally if the town isn't buying these,
Right.
because they
Oh,
are
yes.
expensive,
Right.
you know.
So,
Toledo people had to pay.
yeah, they did.
You know,
And,
other
and
towns
back
had
on
to
the,
pay.
back on the money thing real quick, you know, we might be financing $80,000, but it'll be paid off in 7 years, and the life expectancy of the meters is between 20 and 25, so
Yep.
you're gonna have quite a few years of usefulness out of them after the service is paid off, so.
Good.
But it'll be out there, once I get the information from them, they're gonna give me the flyers that they're gonna mail out to everyone. I'll get a copy to Rob so we can get it on the website, I'll get it on our Facebook pages. I'll probably wipe the library,
Oh, yeah.
off and just put that on there for a little while.
So everybody knows it's coming.
So, we're gonna advertise as much as we can, word of mouth. I think it's gonna get around pretty quick since I put something on Facebook. I want them to look for it in the mail, I don't want them to throw something away. It says, it's gonna say Village of Bettsville and Nico Water on, or Neco, whatever, however you pronounce it, on the envelope, it'll say them both on the envelope. So, I put that on the Facebook post so that people are looking
Understand what it is.
for it, so, yeah. So, that's gonna be half the battle, to make sure they don't just toss it thinking it's junk mail when they get it, so. But they're gonna try the service a couple times, you know, I think they'll do 2 mailings, and then they'll do door tags, so it's,
It's something they're used to doing all the time.
yeah, they're used to doing it, so.
Yeah. And what's quite good is these people are local
Yeah.
people, I mean, to the company, it's not somebody,
Right.
it's like a third party, it's
Yeah.
their
Right,
company
right,
doing it.
Yeah.
So they got some,
The main office is out of Cincinnati, but our representative is in Bowling Green. So, and the guys that come and met with us, installers, they travel all over, they stay in hotels, and go all over and install these things, but they are employed by the same company that our representative is employed by, so we won't have
A lot of
just.
finger pointing.
Right.
So I think we got a good solution to that, and I think we're all looking forward to getting this done.
Yes.
And like I said, I think we need to figure out the transition as far as estimation or whatever, we're gonna figure that out.
So, yeah, I'll definitely have to read at least one more time. Even if they do start on the 14th, like they were talking, I'll have to get meters read before that. And then in May, because we'll still be doing a transition, we'll probably estimate that. Because a lot of these meters have been so slow on the outside that once you get to the inside, it could be off quite a bit. And I don't know if that's a battle that you guys really want to go through. Because
I think we just did a clean straight.
the outside will slow down as opposed to the inside. So let's say the outside says 500, it might say 555 on the inside because it's been in there for 20 years. And then your bill is $600-700. I don't think that
No,
you guys want to battle that.
I
Especially doing the service charge increase at the same time. I don't think you guys will get into all that.
No, I agree, we just do the transition.
You're gonna have an increase in funds having the new meters in there by themselves, so I don't think it's worth it. Any questions about the meters? Okay. I don't have anything else for our sludge removal project. I haven't heard back from them. They did send us a bill, so there must have been somebody that went out there and did some elevations and whatnot, but I've not heard back from them yet. And then the only other thing I got is the cell tower contract that we talked about last month. And I sent an email to our illustrious solicitor.
Oh, looks good. I didn't see any issues with it.
Okay,
I mean, it is what it is.
so,
I assume that the good lawyers for the cell phone company,
I figured, yeah, so,
but
but,
it looked like what we talked about with the 10 grand and
right,
the
right.
10%.
I just wanted you to say, sure, John.
I thought the 10% thing was pretty fair. So
Yeah. So, all right, then I'll get that taken care of. There's some stuff on there that Scott and I will both have to sign, and it's gotta be, stamped.
Notarized.
So when I figure that all out,
We'll go up to the
what
bank.
we gotta do, we'll go up to the bank.
Make
and get
that,
that taken.
Sherry sign everything.
They're supposed to send a hard copy of a contract for us to sign everything. She said they already mailed it, so we should have that pretty soon. And unless anybody's got any questions for me, that's all I've got.
John's been doing a nice job, he's got the new parkway trail put together with stones on it so people don't run over. And he, on the street issue, just a side note, up by the gas station, he put some rock stuff out there because people were driving on the streets and are out and about.
Well, there's a gas line that runs right beside the asphalt up there.
Oh, really?
And they had it all torn up.
Oh, it was,
And it's
huh?
not the gas main's not very deep. It's only like 8-12 inches deep. And they had some pretty good holes there, and instead of driving in the asphalt to get away from the holes, they just kept driving further and further out in that yard, and that is, Bragg. Bragg owns that
Bragg.
property where PJ's used to be there. And, she had given us permission last year to dump a bunch of dirt along there, and I had just dumped a big mound down along there for the gas company. And, they kinda wore that down over the last year, so. I drove around all of our wooded areas around out here and found huge rocks and just started bringing them out and went up there and I leveled everything off and set the rocks on there, and then I went up and put some stone in the holes along there, so they'll at least stay out of her yard, and the gas company's happy that we helped out, so.
Right.
Did a fine job.
Now that's all I got.
The $5 fee, John. Just got one couple.
Yep, we've gotta do the ordinance, no point in talking about it twice, is there?
Oh, okay.
Okay, the parks, I think looks like the parks, everything's doing good. We had the issue with the dog, and then we went out and inspected the fence, and we couldn't find no holes, so I don't know how the dog, so I'm not sure. If you went
Little
out,
dog, big dog?
the dog was pretty good size, it was,
Chuck's dog,
Chuck's
yeah.
dog, I don't know how it got out, I mean,
I
I
just
know,
wonder if it went under the gate in the back.
that's what I'm thinking,
I mean, there's
Oh, really?
the gate
Okay.
in the back.
yeah,
If you weren't watching your dog, I suppose it could get under there, but.
yeah.
She was scared she broke something, you know.
Yeah, we didn't, I mean, I looked, I didn't see anything.
I drove all around and I didn't see nothing,
Yeah, so,
other than what was already there.
and it looks like the kids are using the ATV park and everything out there, and so everything's working pretty good.
Good.
And the nature park, just so everybody knows, we just don't want vehicles back there, but they can walk back through the nature park.
The signs are ordered, they should be here next week,
Yeah,
probably,
yeah.
so.
So, we just want, authorized personnel only, so they're not driving, because we had the issue with the kids going back there with the vehicles and making a mess back there, we just trying to get that under control. You know, we want people to use the park, it's just we don't want people destroying stuff,
Right.
so that was it.
And I went down along the ditch down through there and filled in a bunch of
Yeah, I
the
know,
woodchuck
you did a nice
holes
job on
back
that
through
too.
there, so.
Yeah.
So nobody falls into there.
Cool.
Did a nice job there. Okay, anything going on with zoning or anything, John, or Rob? Okay, good. Okay, let's move on to old business. New village office updates, like I said, I got a contract, I'm gonna sign it and give for, it not to exceed $85,000 to do the renovations in the, that we
Yeah, the
appropriated
office,
money, so
yeah.
basically, we're gonna fix the water system, get the toilets and stuff working, get the heat in there, and we gotta put a door and a wall in to close off the 2/3 of it for right now, so we can get, at least get it operational, so we get everybody moved out there, so the goal is to start on Thursday. I got the contractors looking out, we're gonna figure out a plan, how we're gonna actually do everything now. You know, we kinda looked at stuff, and the only way I figured we can do it correctly is just time and material, because there's just too many variables.
Yeah.
And the quote will get out of control, because everybody's trying to cover their ass, you know what I'm saying? So I'll manage that, but I'm just saying, we're gonna focus on the water, we'll get the wall up, and then in that way, we at least go out there, because it's getting warm out now, and then we'll focus on getting the heat system, and I got a plan for it, we looked at everything, we just gotta figure out if it's all gonna work. So that's kinda where I'm at with that, so I put a contract together not to exceed 85,000, because that's under our budget, and then,
We took our normal $80,000 for paving and appropriated that for this.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So that's where the 80,000 came from.
Do we need a motion to approve that?
let's just
contract?
put it in the record.
Contract, yeah.
Yeah, let's,
They'll
a
have
motion
go
to
over
approve
it.
my contract for not to exceed 85,000, I'll sign it, this is for KDH. And I'll look that over quick, but it's basically, it's pretty straightforward, and just not to exceed, and then, once we get there, that's it, as far as I can go. So,
KDH is the same company that did the EMS.
EMS building,
Okay.
and Ryan's good to work with it, it's $50 an hour, we
Well,
charge.
yeah.
I mean, you ain't gonna find a contractor,
Are they hiring?
Not for that much.
no.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta be able to go on a ladder and you're not allowed.
Oh, that's right.
You don't know.
Well, I
does it
would,
anyhow.
I would if you wouldn't tell.
But anyway, so, well, I guess we got the motion, there's the, so I can go ahead and sign the contract, right, so we got
I'll make a motion. Go
for-
ahead, John. Or Rob.
a
Whatever.
second. Need a
You're
second.
on the side of card, Chuck.
I'll second it.
Never do a roll call, that way at least everybody knows what we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Rob?
We're spending money.
Yeah.
Linda?
Yes.
Bill?
Yeah.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Chuck?
Yes.
I'll need a copy of that then, Scott.
I got a copy right here. You can-
Okay.
I sent it to you, you should have a copy. I'll sign that tonight, I got a meeting with Ryan on Thursday morning, then, so I'll give it to him, and
Okay, cool.
then they can take care of all that stuff, manage that stuff, and then, so what Ryan's gonna do, he's gonna kinda manage the project, and then, we'll probably got Heartland is gonna do the plumbing and the heating system and all that stuff. So, it's, go from there and try to get this thing functional so we get moved out there. And the other thing that, the county asked me to do, they wanna get a flagpole out there. Okay,
A what?
a
A
flagpole.
flagpole.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, I'm gonna talk to Ryan, I looked around, we're probably talking $5,000 for a flagpole, by the time you get concrete and all that stuff in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I think John said you would pay like 3,500 or something like that, for this one you put in years ago, right?
Oh, no, you paid more than that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember what the number
We
was.
got that from the school, didn't we, John?
No, that
Okay.
come from Toledo Flag, they
Yeah.
come and put it in.
Okay.
So, I looked around, I mean, I could buy a flagpole and stuff, but but by the time you get the concrete, working the labor and all that stuff, I mean,
You're
I mean, you gotta dig a hole and you gotta get it down there pretty deep, cause you got a
Right.
wind load on it, the damn thing can fall over, you know?
all over.
And I gotta get lights on it so that you can leave the flag up and all that stuff. So the goal, the county asked if the village would take care of that, so we'll work through that and,
I guess. we
I
can
guess,
do that.
since they put the furnace and stuff in, that saved me that $20,000 on it. I figured I could put that up, so Tony asked me if I'd take care of that, so I just wanted, I'll figure something out, I'll get Ryan to give me a quote.
There goes
figure out-
Joyce's Lands and Buildings.
Yeah, we must use it for something.
Well, I could name a few places.
Okay, and I'll give you the, well, I kind of talked about the EMS
We already
station.
did that, yeah.
EMS station, but it's
Yeah.
basically, it's functional, it's done. They've already got mostly moved in out there, but they can't physically move the truck and stuff in there until they
Until you
get,
those licenses.
get the license
Yeah.
and then get the signs up and all that stuff, so.
Right.
I talked to Barb, the signs finally got ordered this week, I think it's 3 weeks out for the signs.
Oh,
And then Medicaid and Farmers, Board of Pharmacy won't come here until the signs are up.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so that, that's kinda where we're at with that, and, I don't know how long that's gonna take, so I'm thinking at least a month out or more
At least.
before they're actually physically moved out there. But the
Yeah.
building's functional, I got the water softeners and all that stuff done now, everything's pretty well there. So,
Good.
they got all the curtains up, and they got
Oh, my.
everything in there, so we got, in fact, he was out there, what day was that, was it Sunday or something, he was out eating lunch out there, but he was out there, they had the ambulance backed in there, and he was eating their lunch in there. Cause it was cleaning the place up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he put all the furniture together, so that's something I didn't have to do. So I
Now,
was
do
happy
we
with it.
do we furnish the bedding and all that
No,
stuff?
they do.
They do.
They got everything, so they're,
Okay.
I got a building, then once they get everything finalized, then we gotta do the lease, the dollar lease, and get the house out there, for long-term lease, and we kinda talked about that, so
They're
that's.
already sent to them.
Yeah, but we haven't signed anything yet, so I just want,
Okay.
we've gotta follow up on that, make sure we get it signed.
Because I mean,
Yeah,
they've got it, my understanding.
I mean, they're already stuck now, cause they spent all this money, so, so. It's about $225,000 is what we ended up with this whole thing,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so. It didn't cost the town anything, so that's a good thing.
Flagpole.
Huh?
Yeah, we're out of
Well,
flag.
I'm sorry, yeah, flagpole, but I think that's not too bad what it could have been, right? Yeah, so, okay, but we got 24/7 coverage for the town, so,
Yeah,
that's the good
That's the
thing, right?
good thing.
Yeah, and they're staying pretty busy. Okay, brownfield update, like I was telling Joe, basically, we got the grant, the money's set up, Renee's managing all that stuff, like all that stuff straightened out, so that they're billing right to Renee now. They come out, they did the survey, and everything's, all that's done, they got to put a plan, they brought the radar out and all that stuff, they kind of mapped everything, figured out what they're gonna do. And then, I guess, end of May, June sometime, they're supposed to start, and we'll see what happens, because they said they wanted to make sure it dried up before they open anything up, so they didn't have a chance of any migrating off site until they got control of it. So that was their concern.
It sounds like things have gone, I would say, as we've expected.
Yeah,
We've really been lucky in that we just haven't hit any super surprise. But I think we kind of knew that at the time, to be honest.
yeah, well, we already had the data, so it was just a matter of,
Yeah.
I think we got a good plan, and I guess the point is, we're just go as far as we don't get a letter, but basically, it's control.
Short of the letter.
Short of the letter, and then we're good. And we did everything we agreed to,
Yep.
right? So
Good,
we should be good.
good.
Okay, third reading of the ordinance 2025-02, and this is the one for adding the service, or the capital charge to water and sewer bills. Because this is where we're, we want to add the charge on there so we can put money together for the engineering and future upgrades for capital improvements to the water distribution system. And also sewer system, of things we gotta do, so that this money's, we apply to that, so we can pay for the engineering and stuff we gotta do for the long-term upgrades to the water distribution system, for the water going to the constituents in the village, and then water tower and everything else we gotta do in the future for what the EPA is asking us to do, so we gotta
Right.
start somewhere, so. So whereas the village of Betsville, however, hereby levies an additional $5 per capital, per month per household for water bill, water and sewer bill. This would be earmarked only for capital improvements. It's not normal service charges for capital improvements, and that money can only be used for capital improvements, and we have to set up a fund just for that. Levies and service charge to fund the engineering, updates, and upgrades of water distribution system and meter systems. The said services necessary to the safety of the village of Betsville water supply. Now therefore be ordained by the council of the village of Betsville, Ohio. The village of Betsville, Ohio hereby levies an additional $5 per month service, or capital service charge for household water and sewer bill. And the village of Betsville, Ohio levies said service charge to fund engineering updates and upgrades of the water distribution system. That said service charge is necessary for the safety and village of the Betsville water supply. So this is the third reading, so now I just need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second?
second.
Linda,
Yes.
Rob,
Yep.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so this service charge will go in the next month's bill then.
Yeah. Okay.
So everybody knows what it's for, okay?
There's already a service charge. You're
Oh, yeah.
increasing the service charge.
This is not service, this is for capital improvements. Service charge.
can't-
Still gonna raise the water bill now.
Yeah,
by
I
law.
know, I
Yeah, I
know.
know.
We just
We
raised
got
it
one-
$3,
What do you
right?
mean we just raised it $3?
Didn't we just do something for raising it $3? Just a
No.
couple meetings
We
ago?
talked about it, this is.
This is third reading.
Yeah. oh,
You already pay a $3 service charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
You're increasing the service charge by $5.
So it'll be $8
So it'll be
now.
$8 service charge.
Yeah.
No, that's not earmarked for capital improvements.
Oh, okay.
That's not, no, there's not a separate fund for
Okay,
this.
so,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Now we got it all straightened out, so we got a roll call then? We
Yep,
already
we're
used
done.
it.
Did it
Yep,
already.
you can sign it.
Okay. well,
That goes into effect
May.
immediately since, okay.
Yeah, well, it'll go in the next bill.
On the next
Right.
bill, the next bill.
Okay.
Okay.
You signed it already.
Huh? I know, I signed that. Just making sure I'm not doing something stupid here. Okay. Any other old business? Now we'll move on to new business. Okay, this is Rita subpoena update, anything on that, or?
I have it.
Okay.
You guys agreed to do the subpoena program, the 9-filer program.
Mhm.
There was 82 subpoenas. It cost the village $1 a piece, so it cost us $82. And they sent 107 non-filing letters, 82 subpoenas, and the village ended up with $19,315.
Oh my God.
Fantastic.
That's a pretty good
something.
investment on $82, isn't it?
I would think so.
They received $9,588 payment so far, and we have a balance due of $9,727.
So it's working pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah.
good,
So
good.
we're doing all the right things for the right reasons now, so.
Yeah,
And I think John was saying that basically we're getting the payments in the water is doing much a lot better than it was.
Tax assessments, mhm.
Yeah,
Tax
we're
assessments and
gonna
everything,
square
everything's kind of
away
working,
pretty good.
so everything's much better than it was.
good, good.
Okay, Star Ohio transfers,
Yes, I had to do a transfer on March 6th of 100,000, and then another transfer March 18th of 100,000 from Star into our checking to pay for the bills.
okay,
And the big one was the $100,000 check for
Oh,
yeah,
for
a
the
lot of
meters.
meters.
for the meters and all that stuff in,
Okay.
so that's actually, the Star thing's working out pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I wish
I mean,
we'd
that
known
really,
about
it's really
this
helped,
years
really
ago.
helped the village a lot.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, it's wonderful.
Yes.
So the last thing I gotta do is the 04 bank deposit agreement that I gotta sign.
Yeah, they send us every 5 years.
Right.
So what this amounts to is that, so when people pay their water bills and stuff at the bank,
Oh, okay.
as we understand it, then basically that's set up there is that they can collect that money, and then it goes to the village then. And so it's a 5-year agreement, so.
Okay, now when people pay their bill at the bank, how do we know that they paid it? Does the bank call you guys or something, or how?
No, Clerk goes there every morning when she works and picks up the deposits.
Oh, I see.
You know, the little stub from your bill,
Yeah,
a lot of people give them that, and then how you get a little white deposit ticket?
Yeah.
They'll staple that together,
Yeah.
okay,
and then
okay,
they give it to her.
okay. I
And
just
then she
didn't know
enters
how
it
that
from that.
worked, yeah,
Yep.
okay, all right.
So I guess now I'll sign the contract and get that taken care of, and we'll go from there, so.
Do a lot of people pay that way?
Some people do, yeah, quite a few people do,
Yeah.
yeah.
We just need a motion to approve that
So
stuff.
I'll make a motion that we approve the extension at the bank another 5 years.
A memorandum of agreement for deposit of
Yes.
public funds.
Whatever it is,
That-
do that.
Second,
I'll second.
Linda,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Rob,
Yep.
Joyce,
Yeah,
Chuck.
Yes.
Okay, any other new business?
I would like to bring up something,
Okay.
and this is more for, probably more for Alex and maybe John. We have a Green River ordinance in town, it's posted everywhere. Just reading, and believe me, I don't believe what I read on the internet, but I go to it to see what they're saying. And apparently a lot of municipalities modify their Green River ordinance, is that true, or is it?
I don't know, maybe.
That might be something we wanna look into, because what we're doing is, we have a lot of contract, the other one was Everdry the other day.
They're horrible.
And they come through, and we get all these people, and what they're doing to get around the Green River, ordinance is, well, I'm not selling anything. We just wanna give you a free demonstration. We're not selling, I says, it still sounds like you're,
You're
and
peddling,
they'd leave because they know I'm not buying, but that doesn't stop them from going through town.
right.
And you don't go to somebody's door unless you plan on trying to make a sale. But if you invite them in for the celebration, now technically, you invited that person into, what the law says, it's okay for them to come if you invite them. I wanna see something written up where you just can't go door to door and give away these free, because they're putting pressure on people to buy
oh,
things.
yeah.
We have a lot of older people in our village that would fall for that sort of thing.
I thought that's what the Green River
I don't know
ordinance
if it
was
does or not,
for.
John,
That
that's the
is
reason
what
I'm
it's
asking
for.
you.
Was-
Yeah, I'd have to look, because I don't
I
know.
think
I
they're
thought it-
supposed to come into town and check with you, or check
No.
with,
I thought that completely stopped door-to-door
Well, it
solicitation.
has.
So but that's what his point is, I get what you're
Right.
saying is, they're gonna argue that they're not soliciting anything, they're not actually selling. I mean, I understand that that's crap, but that's the argument.
We
Right.
had,
I wanna see if we can
Everdry
write it up so
Saturday.
they can't do that.
I don't know if you
Under the
can,
Green
I'm
River
curious if you could or not, I have to look at it, because I don't know what your law says.
yeah.
Well,
Don't we have a sign coming into town?
Yeah.
Signs don't mean anything.
Just like speed limits.
I thought Scott had to give them permission.
well, I don't know. And it's probably in that myriad of thousands of ordinances we have on the website. I haven't been able to find it yet. But we need to know what that is, and if so, bring it before council and see if we need to modify it.
I think you need to modify it anyhow because I've never seen it.
I never have either.
I was gonna
It's
ask you
just
though,
always
if we
been on the-
actually passed one?
It's always been on the village limit signs, so when
Yes.
I replaced them all, I put them up again, but I've never seen it.
So we
And I've been on
need
council
to
since
have that
'99,
drawn
so
up
I have never
Without
seen
the
one.
loopholes of giving away.
Well, cause even without
Yeah,
the loopholes, I'm
the way it's
curious.
set up is supposed to get a permit to go around.
That's what I thought. They had to come to the mayor to get a permit
Right.
to be able to come door to door.
Have you ever seen one of them permits you're supposed to do?
No, sir, I have
Okay, then
not.
so no, we don't have anything.
No, because some of those places I would imagine, I don't wanna speak out of turn, but a large national corporation is probably gonna come get the permit, because that's just probably part of their business model. If it exists, is they probably are gonna look to see if it exists, they're gonna go get the permit, cause I would think it's highly unlikely, maybe I'm wrong, that, for example, I'll make this up, some cable company that's going into thousands and thousands of villages all over the country,
Right,
they're just gonna have a procedure that's gonna involve trying to get the permit.
right.
And if they don't get it, they're gonna move on to the next village.
Right.
So
Don't sign nothing, Scott.
we may not have ever actually done one.
Right.
Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe there was a belief that putting the sign up meant you had the law years ago.
So we just need to,
I can look that up.
look it up, and then what we gotta do, and then we just put an ordinance together and get it straightened out, so we know.
Because
there's-
signs are
That's
already
the reason
there.
why I haven't called the sheriff on these people, because I didn't know
Right.
what the law says, and I didn't know if I was
Right.
actually reporting something that really didn't happen.
Right.
But if I know what it is, and I tell them, I started to argue, I said, look, I'm just gonna call the sheriff, and you can deal with them.
Understood.
Okay, any other new business?
I did talk to Hawk about getting those trees that we talked about last year, he never made it over.
Okay,
So that stuff's gonna get done.
Good.
And the two in front of the trailers on Route 12, those are really bad.
Yes.
So those are gonna come down too. So, I think I got 5 of them as of right now. If anybody's got anything that they know of that I haven't had a call about, let me know, but
Okay.
I haven't heard anything from anybody, so.
Well, if nothing else, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll do that.
Thanks, everybody, I appreciate everything.